Hey everybody, it's JJ here. You're watching Bull, Boom, Bear, Bust. This is going to be a quick report today, but it's an important one. I haven't talked about this in a while. This is a reminder. Be very, very careful when swiping your card, and you might want to think twice about not using a debit card and using a credit card whenever possible. Take a look at the story right here. And this one's out of Fool.com, the $5,700 latte. So someone used their debit card, meaning it's connected to their checking account, and instead of $5.70, the employee at the coffee shop typed in a couple extra zeros, and now we've got a $5,700 latte. So this person was overcharged, and instead of just having a charge ran up on their credit card, they lost their money in their checking account and they went negative. So then other charges later that day and beyond also went negative, overdraft fees on top of overdraft fees on top of overdraft fees. If she would have used a credit card, she would still have all her money in her checking account and she could have just called the card company and did a dispute. But now her account was drained. So not a good situation. And this happened in Colorado. And the story says here that this woman that swiped her debit card, it took months to get things rearranged, get the money back in her account, get the overdraft fees put back, and it was a big, big mess. Okay, so ask yourself, would you rather have your checking account drained, or would you rather have an incorrect charge put on your credit card? Then you can call your credit card company and dispute it and still have the money in your checking account. On top of that, you have cards. When you use credit cards, you can get rewards. Now, I'm not telling everybody to go out and swipe cards like crazy, but if you're gonna go purchase items and goods and even food, groceries, if you use a credit card, you're gonna get points. Pay off your card in full each month. Do not pay that interest, and you're gonna make the bank pay you instead of you paying the bank overdraft fees. The bank is gonna pay you for using your card and racking up points. And if you look online, you can find articles that tell you the best cards each month to use to get the most points. Again, I'm not telling anybody to go out and spend money that you don't have. Here's NerdWallet, for example, 17 best credit cards of May 2021. Let's scroll down here. Chase Freedom Unlimited, a cash back between 1.5% and 5%. All right, but let's get into the broader message here. The broader message I want you to take out of this is that digital screens, digital money transactions, money that's out there in cyberspace, be very, very careful because what's yours today can be gone in an instant when it's in a digital format somewhere. That's why so many people like hard assets, things you hold and you own. All right, and as most of you know by now, one of my favorites is silver. And if you look just over the past year, silver has outperformed real estate. It's outperformed a lot of other assets. And with this hyperinflationary environment, I think we're just getting started. But back to the situation with the $5,700 latte, it's not just about the money. Imagine all the time and the stress added on top of the lost money there that this person had to go through. So again, be very, very cautious. Use credit cards when possible, but be careful. Don't spend money that you can't pay back in full each month when it comes to credit cards. All right, now when it comes to money and investments and assets in digital form, I actually hold those myself, and those have been very good returns, both stocks and other digital assets. But if something does happen to the system, to the grid, you're going to wish you had some hard assets and some assets out of the digital format. All right, so speaking of digital assets, let's transition a little bit into stocks. Now, we've always talked here about how the money printers and the Fed, they have helped pump the stock market up. Now, when I started talking about this several years ago, some people would say, oh, JJ, that's crazy. You can't prove that. But then we went to the actual Fed source who talked about how they buy securities, how they buy assets. We talked about the plunge protection team. The Fed has a trading desk and so forth. We've shown all that on this channel, but now it's mainstream. Take a look at this article. MSN.com, the Washington Post is even talking about this. The Fed helped fuel a stock market boom that benefited the wealthy Americans and left everyone else behind. Well, some people made money on stocks that weren't considered wealthy, and some people went from not wealthy to being wealthy, but most people that invest in stocks are not getting wealthy. But it's true, 80%, roughly 80% of the stocks that are owned by the top 10%. So again, the stock market boom and the Fed put on the stock market helps the rich the most. It helps the wealthy get even wealthier. And let's go down into this article a bit here because you're going to hear some very familiar language down here. All right, now first of all, this chart here talks about how the stock market has outpaced home equity in 2020. And homes are rising, home values are rising, but even here in 2021, not as fast as the stock market when it comes to percentage gains. Now, many would argue, they would say, why are we even looking at percentage gains on homes? Because homes should be a place to live and homes should not be an investment. I agree, but the sad reality is homes have become an investment, and that's one of the reasons why we're seeing prices skyrocket so much. Also, with the help of the bankers, the money printers. Right, listen to this language right here. Why does this matter? Because when the Fed buys securities, it does so with money that it creates out of thin air. Pumping more money into the financial system increases the money supply, and some of that cash inevitably ends up making its way into the stock market, boosting prices. Okay, so the Fed buys securities, so it's admitting it basically. The Washington Post is admitting this, and also when you flood the economy with money, that money is going to end up in the stock market and other digital assets, pushing prices up. What have we seen here recently with the record money printing? We've seen record asset prices, right? Record rising prices. Stock market, another all-time high recently. Right, again, not a coincidence. All right, so again, money created out of thin air pumps up asset prices, stocks, the real estate market. The Fed also buys debt, they buy securities, mortgage-backed securities, things that help the markets, right? So it's no secret, it's now mainstream, even mainstream outlets like Washington Post are talking about it, which is good because now it's getting out there in the public is now finally realizing what type of system we live in, and now maybe people will start asking questions saying, hey, why are the rich getting richer under this type of system? Maybe we need to change this. Maybe we need more regulation. Maybe we need to completely gut the current system, let it collapse, let it crash, and start with something new and more fair. And hey, what about sound money? What about sound money? So I think that ultimately we're going to end up back at sound money, and that's why I continue to accumulate silver. I know I talk about silver a lot, but sound money is going to be here eventually. Why? Because all fiat currencies fail. They always have, they always will. Money created out of thin air and giving value to a piece of paper only lasts so long. Now the question is, what type of terrain do we have to navigate before we get there? It could get really, really difficult depending on the level of either hyperinflation or deflation if they allow this to crash or correct. Either way, it's going to be painful and difficult for a lot of people. So everybody continue to prepare. Hope everybody's well. Again, be cautious of the $5,700 Latte and use that credit card instead of that debit card. All right. Thanks for watching this report, everybody. Stay well, stay safe, stay prepared. Until then, bye for now. Peace.